Game Scoop is powered by Best Buy, where you can pre-order Call of Duty Black Ops 2 and can play it first at select stores.
You'll all remember where you were when you heard the news that Disney bought Lucasfilm.
Yeah,
It's true. I was talking to somebody about it last night. It was one of the few moments, I think, where everything went bonkers for a second, where one person said it and then it spread like wildfire, and then Twitter exploded.
I know.
It reminded me a lot, and this is a dark thing to say, but it reminded me a lot of when Heath Ledger passed. That was a moment in the IGN office where everybody was like, somebody was like, "Wah!" and we're like, "Ah!"
Yeah, Steve Jobs.
No, nobody cared about that.
That was
I'm kidding.
No, it was
Happy Halloween, Happy Halloween.
it was Nerd Christmas here yesterday. Like,
It was.
It was like, holy crap, what does this mean for us?
Yeah.
Well, it's just crazy that they announced the buyout and then they said there's also the Star Wars movies coming.
Yeah,
in
that's
2015.
like, If they had just said we bought Lucasfilm and we had no idea what their plans were, that would have been a different story.
Yeah, it was really, it shut down my brain for like an hour because I was like, oh my god, I can't believe this. Like, you know, Disney is Marvel and it's Star Wars, and then I kept having these like more, I'm like, oh my god, new movies means the extended universe is all screwed up now. Oh my god, this, oh my god, that.
Well, I thought they were, I mean, when we first heard that, I was like, okay, that's one thing, new Star Wars movies, that's fine. But then like, Star Wars 7. It's like, so that's actually continuing from 6. So this actually this is not just like, hey, it's Jabba's daughter's adventure. It's like, no, this is going to pick up where 6 left off. Like, holy shit.
And it's like, are they going to get the original actors? Like, throw Mark Hamill
Have they
on a
confirmed that
treadmill?
yet, that it's going to pick up?
No, they haven't said
No,
that.
but
It was like
is
the worst
episode
thing.
7.
They've said
So it takes place sometime after 6.
Yeah.
Right?
They're just like, guys, episode 7, dropped the mic and walked out. And we're
Well,
like,
I mean, like, there's all the books. I mean, we get Gaius up here to talk about, you know, Luke's kids and whatnot and all that. I mean, that's what I imagine it's going to be. I don't.
Here's the thing.
There'll be stupid like cameos from like Han Solo fucking driving the beat up Millennium Falcon around.
Yeah, I think I disagree because you know, the Star Wars books and games where, you know, LucasArts, or, you know, Lucasfilm, you know, definitely like babysat people and said, you know, you can do this with this character, you can't do that with that character. But that's not Lucasfilm's story. It's like, it's these authors. Like, they basically got to do whatever they wanted. Han and Chewie are going off on all these adventures, and they don't want to be tied down to all that when they're making new movies. They want to make the movies they want to make. So all kinds of things. I am positive that these movies, if they're set in the future, are absolutely going to contradict anything that came in these books or games. You know, they don't want to be tied down to something that was in, you know, The Force Unleashed.
yeah.
Like,
I'm actually really excited for this.
I guess that's a good point.
What?
It's a good point that I guess the movies contradict the movies, so it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And they also, there's a lot of worry about, you know, and I'm not a huge Star Wars guy. I don't read the extended universe books besides the, you know, really good ones. But
You know, besides the really good ones.
no, the Thrawn
If
ones.
it doesn't get a 9.0, I don't read it.
The Thrawn trilogy is great, and it's a great sci-fi book, and it doesn't matter that it's set in the Star Wars universe. But anyway, they're talking about that they might just cancel the extended universe. All that stuff that's
How can
happening.
you cancel it? It still exists.
It's already out there.
But like, it's
Like
gonna
Clone Wars and all that shit?
like 3 new, well, no, because that's canonical. Like all the novels and things that sort of orbit around, where it's like, sure, you can have these characters, and like every Star Wars fan knows that like this isn't real Star Wars. Like, this isn't things that really happened in the Star Wars universe. It's just for fun. Like,
You'd have a hard
You're
time
looking at me
telling
like-
some Star Wars fans that, though. I've heard from people before that it's like, oh, everything in Tales from Jabba's Palace is real. I'm like, well, it's not. It's a book some guy wrote, and even the movies aren't real because they're fantasies.
but we all know that
like Boba Fett
movies
landed
are
in the
just the movies
Sarlacc
some
pit.
guy made.
Like the story about Boba Fett survived in the Sarlacc pit for like 15 years, and they took him out, and then he lived, and he was covered in acid. He's like, ugh. And he was okay. Like they say that's part of the real story, but I'm like, oh,
the
that's
point
not
is, in
possible.
Star Wars, there's levels of canonical. Like, anything that happened in the movies is real. Like, that's it. That's a real thing that happened in the Star Wars universe, and then there's certain things that are less canonical and certain things that are less canonical than that.
Okay.
And the extended universe might just be going away or be completely reset as a result of these
Do you
films.
think Star Wars fans are just me sitting in theaters like, no, that's not true, just screaming the whole time?
Maybe.
It is. I mean, obviously, it's going to make Disney, you know, $1 billion, and people
Yeah.
are going to be so excited and line up
Probably
a month
more than
early
that.
again. But it is a thorny situation to get like those hardcore fans on board for sure.
Yeah. I think it's great.
You say you're excited.
Yeah, because I mean, I've always been more interested in what could happen to these characters after, or what, like, it's totally blank canvas, and having the prequels was just like, I don't need to know like why this stuff happened. Like, I don't need to see C-3PO when he was just like less parts, you know, or like, or, you know, Anakin when he was a kid. I never cared about any of that stuff, but seeing what could happen after is just like, it's totally open and they could do anything there. And I mean, we've already had a bunch of terrible Star Wars movies, so you can only go up from there.
See, that's the thing, is like people don't seem to have learned their lesson. Like, just
Yeah.
leave it alone.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go back, you're all gonna be bitching about how bad the sequels are now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all gonna be CG, sure, and they're all gonna be this.
There's some very important piece of the puzzle we don't have yet. who's going to write these movies, who's
Right.
going to direct these movies, who's going to star in these movies,
Kevin
right?
Smith.
So until we know those, like I'll be cautiously optimistic until we get that information.
Yeah, and everyone talks about Disney as, oh, it's Disney, and they think about the cartoons and how, but Disney has also done all the Marvel films. They've done a great job with all of those.
Not all of them.
All the Marvel Cinematic Universe, all the movies starting from Iron Man on
He's
up.
saying not all of them were good.
Oh, but I mean, generally speaking, I think people are happy with the way that's been handled, right? Like, people like the Avengers.
sure.
Okay.
I didn't know you.
I'm just saying they're not all good movies. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, but I'm just saying Disney's a gigantic company. They own ESPN, they own all this other stuff. They did the Pirates of the Caribbean movies,
Pixar.
which went downhill, but yeah, they do Pixar. So everyone's like, oh, Princess Leia is going to be a Disney princess now. And I'm like, well, that's
Probably.
not.
That probably will happen at some
think
There's
point.
going to be a lot of old Jedi ghosts, that's
There's
for sure.
princesses in the Marvel universe that aren't Disney princesses now. Like,
Name me some princesses in the Marvel universe.
I don't know, you tell me.
Thank you.
You're the comic book
Thank
guy.
you. Exactly. Thank you.
Princess Fantastic. Remember her?
That could be a
Nope,
thing.
not a
That's-
thing.
If you were, there's probably.
No, but I'm wondering if they're going to bring back like the Alec Guinness ghost, the Yoda ghost, the Anakin ghost that's played by Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
Like he ended Jedi. They have the whole scene. And they show the planets all over the place.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll start haunting these sequels now.
With his terrible acting.
I have high hopes for these movies. Disney makes pretty good movies overall. They're the ones that greenlit and funded Tarantino's movies. They're a big media company that knows how to put out good, high-quality films.
I'm interested in them. I'm not on either side of the fence, really. I'm not a huge
Yeah.
Star Wars fan, so I'm just interested to see what happens. Go ahead.
They could be bad, but I think if 7, 8, and 9 were announced being done at Lucasfilm without this, I'd be way more worried than I am now. Like, I trust Disney to make sure that they get some quality.
Yeah, I'm with you
talent
on that,
in there.
actually. I actually think that having a little like oversight here now from a company like that is better off
Yep.
than just like George Lucas was like, oh yeah, we're gonna make those movies now, and I'm just gonna fuck them into the ground. And like, no,
That was a
Pretty good, George Lucas. You kind of have to do like a little.
Yeah, you,
Do
somehow,
that.
he's got that crazy chin, man.
Yeah, it's a doo-wop.
Yeah, maybe the Star Wars franchise has been rescued
Sure.
from the clutches of George Lucas.
From the people who made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They talked a little bit about video game stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They talked about how Star Wars 1313's development is unaffected thanks to sort of business as usual in the short term. So that's good news.
Right, and see, like
Games.
that's a Star Wars property that looks awesome,
Yeah.
and it's like it's taking place. Does it take place like during any of the movies or after?
I don't know.
I'm actually not sure this.
I believe it takes place in the year 1313.
Okay, that's how far after a long time ago does that take place?
Well, it's happening in our world. It's like alternate history.
Anyway,
Where the
All
Death
right.
Star
Star Wars 1313 is still.
none of that's true. I don't know anything about Star Wars 1313. I know that it's
Putting
like
lies
uncovered.
out there.
That's what everybody told me at E3.
yeah,
That's
you
the
climb.
level that
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
descending down to
Yeah.
level 1313.
Anyway.
So it should be like B1313 probably.
Episode.
Don't trust the B in 1313.
I like how you got the sass.
was
Well,
good.
that's how you
Yeah.
gotta say that title.
Is that show still on? I haven't watched that show.
Oh, yeah, I
Is
saw
it
a
good?
commercial. No,
Anyone
I mean, I don't know. I didn't watch it. I've just seen commercials for it. When I'm watching Nashville, they run commercials for "Don't Trust the Bee" in apartment 13.
has the girl from Breaking Bad, Jesse's
Yeah.
girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yep.
Episode 7 is supposed to be released in 2015.
Yep.
It's basically 2013 now, so this movie's going to come out in 2 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
They've got to get this ball rolling.
Maybe they have more done than we know.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's hard to separate, truth from speculation and fiction. But I was hearing somewhere that they do have outlines, like they have actual fairly fleshed out outlines for like what 7, 8, and 9 are going to be, and all they really need to do is like take that outline and flesh it out into a script and cast, and then
There was that talk for a while that they were going to do that like HBO Sopranos style.
They've been talking about that for years. The television
about bounty
show.
hunters?
But
Yeah.
that was supposed to be 1313.
Yeah. So I mean, they probably have a bunch of scripts lying around for that kind of stuff. I'm sure. there's-
Cobble it together.
Yeah, just piece it all together. We're not going to notice.
Weird that Disney stock went down today, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, none of us we know business, but we don't know business. I mean, is it maybe it's that they spent so much and they're not getting an immediate
billion?
return? And
But $4 billion, to me, I thought that seemed low.
All I know is it
I
probably
was
means I have to
surprised.
Photoshop another downward-facing arrow on an article on IGN, which is what I've been doing like crazy this generation. Every other day, it's like layoffs or stocks down or studio closing or bad news. I was telling Andrew Goldfarb, our news guy, like man, if you were on here during like the GameCube era where people could just put out any game and didn't matter how well it sold, they're just like, oh, so stick around. We'll make another Beautiful Joe 2
We're making art.
Yeah,
Let's
we're making
just
art.
go.
It's fine.
Let your
600 people worked on Cubivore and it sold 4 copies, but don't worry about it. Guys, come on in. Free cookies.
That's actually a great point. There was a Beautiful Joe 2.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? That would never happen in a million years now.
Now, no way.
There wouldn't even be well, there'd be a Beautiful Joe. It'd be an XBLA game.
Yeah.
That's true.
Or like an iPhone app.
That's actually Beautiful Joe and XBLA would be pretty hot.
Yeah, they could do that.
Yeah.
Beautiful Joe. That was the business.
I gave Beautiful Joe a 10 out of 10.
For what side?
What site?
Yeah.
I don't even know. I remember it was the first perfect score I ever gave.
Was it for overratedgames.com?
I think it was for gamerfeed.com.
Gamerfeed.com.
Yeah.
We should start overratedgames.com.
We did. It's called IGN.
One of our very observant viewers, Cameron Frazier, writes in talking about GTA 5's release window.
Remember the show Frasier?
Yeah.
It took you a full 45 seconds to charge that one out.
Oh no, I was trying to stay away. I could feel me going. I was trying to get away from the gravitational pull of Niles and Roz and all of them, but I couldn't.
He was such a jerk when he was in the Cheers bar. But then turns out he's an okay guy.
Yeah, he just had a bad dad. He just didn't take care of his dad and his dog. And Daphne in Seattle.
Still going. Still going. I think Greg's having a stroke.
No.
All right, please continue.
Anyway, when Rockstar officially confirmed that Grand Theft Auto 5, coming spring 2013, released this art.
Yeah.
With this
Sexy
lovely
lady.
young lady on it. Cameron Frazier writes in, he says, I feel like the image they provided gives us some insight on the release date, a specific date. Let's follow along with,
Lay it on us,
with
Cameron.
here. The girl taking the selfie. First of all, is that a thing?
That's
they call this.
they call them
That's
selfies.
what they
I
thought
thought that was a skateboard move. A selfie?
Selfie? I don't.
I thought it was a Pokemon.
Okay.
The girl.
We're all old.
The girl taking the selfie has 2 visible hands. On her right hand, we see 2 fingers and 4 bracelets. Perhaps this could be April the 4th month, April the 2nd.
Well, why wouldn't it be February the 4th?
Yeah. February the 2nd.
Well, because that's not spring.
February the
What about if you counter boobies?
Her other hand shows 3 fingers, which could mean 2013. April 2nd, 2013 is a Tuesday when games are released. How do you guys feel about this release date?
So Cameron, if I can address you seriously for a second, I would be with you, except the 2 fingers up is also a peace sign, and people do that in photographs.
Yeah, that's a lot of selfies have that. And also, it's one of those things, like, I think as video games have evolved and cheat codes have been lost, I think so much of the, let's hide something really cool for fans has been lost by big companies. I really
That's a
doubt
shame,
Rockstar vetoed art and sent it back to their person like, we need fucking hide the date in here.
That's true. Do you remember I think it was the original Twisted Metal had like cheat codes hidden in the game's advertisements in magazines.
Yeah,
there
all sorts
were
of crazy
button
crap like
codes
that.
hidden in like a character's boot or something like that.
And now, and I think that's all gone. And and I shouldn't say all gone. Like I can see like people like Team Meat or somebody like that doing crazy crap like that.
It's
But
been
like when
kinda-
you're talking about like Rockstar and this huge company, this AAA game, there are so many people working on that game right now that I really when the trailer 1 came out and we were doing Rewind Theater, people were tweeting us live going, "Look at the license plate. These numbers do this, that, and the other." It's like, man,
and then they went back and they said, "Oh, these numbers and all these other GTA games," and like they weren't.
Yeah.
And it meant nothing.
Yeah.
So
I
It's
also
an interesting theory, though.
yeah,
oh,
for
totally,
sure.
yeah.
And that's sort of, guerrilla marketing, or you want to hide things or like get people to sort of solve a puzzle. That's been replaced kind of by alternate reality games now, where there's like, message boxes you can call and get codes, and then you're decoding messages, and
It's one of those things when people hide something cool about this, it's usually developers. Great example being Arkham Asylum. Let's hide a room that totally gives away the next game, like totally, and not tell anybody about it. And then they didn't tell anybody about it. If this really was the date or something, there'd be some cryptic GTA message out there of like, enjoy the art and figuring out the rules. Like they're not gonna like, sit on this like, ooh, 2 and
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a good theory though.
It is good.
And that sounds like a good day for that game.
Sure. It's very plausible. It's a little bit after all the other craziness that's coming in February and March. So.
Yeah.
And don't Rockstar almost always release a game in April?
the dog was so cute on Frasier. Eddie, his name was Eddie.
He's dead now.
You should now
Oh,
that
totally dead.
now forget it. I was going to say something, but I realized it's off the record.
Okay.
About what we know about GTA.
Oh, I thought about Frasier.
No. It was that story
Lame.
that you told me.
Well, on that note.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a secret. Find out more soon.
It's a secret to everybody.
Secret, got a secret.